Okay, so welcome to lecture everyone. Welcome to Euron, and guys, this is your first lecture. This is your very first introductory lecture about generative AI. So in this lecture, I'll try to explain you that what exactly this generative AI is, and I'll be talking about a little bit history of a generative AI, which is not very much important, but somewhere I feel like we should know the history of anything that we are going to study. So keeping that in our mind, we'll be talking about it. We'll be talking about some sort of ethical things as well, ethical things in terms of hallucination, in terms of a deep fake. All those things we'll try to talk about. And overall basis, on an overall basis, we will try to understand that what we can do with generative AI. So how generative AI is going to help me out, what kind of a application that I will be able to build. Plus, I'll be talking about a lot of framework which is out there, which we are going to use even inside this particular series. Now, so on a very first day, which is our day zero, practically it's not possible to talk about everything because most of us are new to this particular field, new to this particular area. So even if I'm going to talk about everything, all the framework, all the technicalities, I will not be able to understand, right? Maybe most of my students will not be able to understand. So I will not be talking much about that. I'll be talking about all these things with like assumptions that everyone is fresher, everyone is trying to learn something new, and this is also your day zero, right? Just like me. So this is your day zero, and we are going to start from a day zero. So a lot of things, guys, a lot of things I'll be talking about now. The very first part, that what is this generative AI, right? What we can do with the help of generative AI. So I believe we all have seen, and now AI is nothing new. Everyone is talking about it, even though if you are not from a tech field, even though you are a politician, still you are going to talk about like a AI nowadays, because this is how AI has captured the entire world. This is how AI is impacting the entire world. And it's very new, like just 2.5 year back, or max to max 3 year back. So we were using AI. It's not like we were not using AI. We were using AI. There was a tons of algorithm we were trying to use. We were trying to solve a multiple problem. But in recent 2.5, 3 year, things had changed a lot in terms of AI, and we all have seen that, right? Somewhere all of us is getting some sort of an impact, maybe in a good way, maybe in a bad way, with AI, right? With AI, somewhere, sometime it is also trying to create a chaos, and because we feel that AI is going to take our job, AI is going to automate each and everything, AI is going to rule over a human being. Sometime it is giving us some sort of a happiness as well when we see that a GPT or Cloud or Gemini kind of a model or kind of a system is doing a task for me. So it's like a kind of a mixed feeling that we used to get. Somewhere we are afraid about AI, somewhere we are happy about AI, right? There are a lot of framework that we used to see. There is something called as N8N, there is something called as LangChain, LangGraph, Llama Indexes, Screw AI, a tons of framework you must be able to see in terms of creating an agent on a regular basis. There are tons of website, tons of portal you will be able to find out just to create a video, just to create images, just to like auto dub your entire voice, just to automate your entire sale, just to take your notes while you are into a meeting. So almost for everything, right? Almost for everything. So people are like trying to like solve this problem, and now people are able to solve, and people are trying to solve this problem even faster, right? Even faster. Now all of these things, right, all of these things became possible in last 2 to 3 years just because of only one thing, and that is generative AI. That is, I'm not saying that like before that AI was, it didn't even existed. Yeah, AI existed, right? So people are working. Even I was teaching AI since last 7 to 8 years, but the way we have seen AI 3 year back was very different, and the way we have seen that now is very different, very different, I would say. So and again, generative AI has changed a lot. Even before, we were trying to learn machine learning, deep learning, computer vision, NLP, reinforcement, a lot of things, right? But yeah, the generative AI has changed a lot. Lot means literally lot, and lot of mixed kind of a feeling it is trying to bring to all of us, right? Not just as a techie, I would say, even as a non-tech guy, even as a lawyer, even as a chartered accountant. So a lot of mixed kind of feeling, even as a company, even as a startup, MNCs, or maybe a product-based companies. It brings sometimes a lot of joy and a lot of fear. So all of these things are becoming possible in a fastest possible way just because of this generative AI, evolution of generative AI. And day by day, we are able to see something new, something new. Even on one single day, I used to get 10 news, different kind of news, that okay, so this is something which has been released. And I'm like, sometimes I used to think that, oh my god, when it is going to stop, right? When someone will stop releasing the model, when someone will stop releasing a new framework, because the day they used to release, I have to go and study, right? Because I have to talk about that in my class. And yeah, so again, it is building up pressure, but it's fun, believe me, it's fun. It's I would say a best time in last, like at least in a decade. So like to build something, so now everyone can think about building a newer stuff. And again, because of what? Because of generative AI. So what this generative AI is, by the way, ChatGPT, can we say that as a generative AI? So yeah, we can say one of the application of generative AI. So basically, this Chat GPT or Gemini or a Llama series or a Mistral series or a DeepSeek series, anything, right? Anything, Cloud a Perplexity, like Savan AI. So we have seen all sort of a large language model, right? LLM we have seen, SLM we have seen, right, which can work even on a lightweight devices. And all of these things does what? It generate a content, right? Maybe a image, maybe like a video, right? Maybe an audio, maybe some sort of like a table or data it is trying to produce. So it is trying to generate something, right? It is trying to generate something. And this is the place from where this word called as generative AI came into a picture, and everyone has started talking about a generative AI, because now system can produce a better code, system can produce a better documentation, system can produce a better story, system can produce a better legal draft, system can analyze your like entire balance sheet just in a fraction of second, system can generate a realistic image, system can generate a realistic video, system can generate a realistic audio, many more things system can generate, right? And when you are going to combine this together, you will be able to build a powerful application out of it. This is what people are trying to do, right? This is what people are trying to do. So this is where the word generative AI comes into picture, a kind of a system which can generate something, right? Even before, we were like having a generative system, so something called as GAN, generative adversarial network, that we used to learn, we used to teach, but those networks was not that great, yeah, in terms of generating these things. Now the kind of a network, the kind of architecture now we are able to see, it's literally a great. Even before, we were talking about a AI, but a lot of AI, right? Even 10 years back, but that was somewhere a discriminative AI, right? Not a generative in nature. Now, so here comes things. Let me share my screen, guys, by the way. So I have prepared a couple of slides for all of you, an amazing slide, powerful slide I have prepared for all of you. So unlocking the power of generative AI. So here I have given you a definition that what generative AI is. So a kind of a system which can try to produce a text, image, code, music, video, anything a system is producing, and that is basically called as generative AI. Simple and sorted. Okay. Now, so here, even before generative AI, and even now, not before, I would say, even now we are using this kind of a system. So we were having two kind of a system. So in a layman way, if you will try to understand that what this two kind of a system that we have, one is a generative, means it can generate. You will just try to give some sort of an input and it is going to generate the data. The other kind of a system that we have, which try to predict something, which try to classify something, right? all those machine learning models, right? All those linear regression, logistic regression, support vector machine, a random forest or XGBoost, all of these machine learning based model. So which try to do some sort of a regression, which can solve some sort of a regression problem. Means again, it's like trying to give you some sort of output, which try to do some sort of a classification, which is trying to find out some sort of a probability out of the multiple classes. Now, all of these kind of a system comes under a discriminative one. And we have that system in a place, and we have this generative system even in a place, right? Even in a place. So here, before this generative system, before 2 or 3 years back, we were not using much of the generative system because those generative system was not that powerful. It was in an experimentation phase. After ChatGPT, we have all seen that how things has changed completely, right? Now, before that, we were using basically a discriminative one. Discriminative one means all those machine learning algorithm, a deep learning algorithm we were trying to use. We were trying to solve a classification problem. We were trying to solve a regression problem, a time series problem. Again, one of the problem like which falls under like a regression itself. So time series problem, we were able to do a weather forecasting, we were able to do a house price prediction at that point of a time, we were able to classify a different object. So all these things falls under a discriminative one, which try to discriminate between the object, and then it will try to give you some sort of a result, ultimately find a classes or maybe find a probability. Now this is another segment called as generative. So hope all of you are able to understand that what is the difference between generative and a discriminative system. Yeah, generative and discriminative system. As its name suggests, one generates, one discriminate. Simple. So both are trying to like give you some sort of a new data, new information. Okay, now, so if I'll talk about this generative AI, so it's not new, and it's not like people have started working on this since today. No. So the story starts when Ian Goodfellow, if I'm not forgetting his name. So yeah, Ian Goodfellow, so who has published this research paper, GAN, a generative adversarial network in 2014. And since then, this entire story has started. So where it was a combination of generator and a discriminator model. It was basically, and that is also a part of your chapter. So I'm going to discuss about that in terms of architecture, in terms of mathematical philosophy behind it. So the whole idea, the whole story has started 11 years back from now. So when Ian Goodfellow has published this research paper called as GAN, Generative Adversarial Network, which was designed to generate a new fake kind of images or a data, a synthetic data, a fake data, but that will not look like a fake data, right? A data which will be close to the reality. So that kind of a system, Ian Goodfellow, and that kind of architecture, Ian Goodfellow and his colleague has designed. And since then, this generative AI has started. At that point of a time, people was not even calling it as generative AI, but yeah, so this is where the whole idea, the whole story behind generative AI started technically. And then there is something called as VAE, Variational Auto Encoder, which was designed. Then in 2017, Google and researchers from Google has published a paper called as Attention is All You Need. That was a research paper based out of Transformer, and it has changed so many things. Literally, it has changed the entire AI, the way we try to approach to a problem in AI. So this is where this Transformer comes into a picture, which was released in 2017. And then in 2020, so there is something called as diffusion model, which have released. So this is a lineage. Now, whether it's a GAN, whether it's a VAE, whether it's a transformer and a sequence of it, whether it's a diffusion model, if you will go and check in your syllabus, I have attached each and everything so that I can come and I can discuss about it inside your batch, inside this particular series. So I am going to talk about each and everything, and there are so many things which will come inside again, so many things inside VAE, so many things inside transformer, a different kind of a transformer, so many things inside a diffusion model which will come and which eventually I'm going to discuss inside your class. But yeah, on an overall basis, on a day 0, if you have to know that, okay, so where this generative AI has started, a history, a brief history. So 2014 by Ian Goodfellow, again was the research paper. Generative Adversarial Network was the research paper, but main breakthrough we were able to get even in 2017, right after 3 years. And that was a paper published by Google. Attention is all you need, which was a research paper based on attention, a multi-headed attention, and technically a transformer, right? And I have already discussed about it. Maybe you can go and watch one of my lecture which I have already given inside a full stack data science class, or maybe into a generative AI classes. Both places I have already discussed. Otherwise, you can wait for this particular series to end. And then I'm going to discuss about the transformer once again in a mathematical way and in a like a architectural way. I have already discussed, but yeah, again in this batch I'm going to talk about it now. So if I'll talk about a real world application, right? A real world application. So now I don't think that we are not able to see a real world application. Yeah, every day we are able to generate some images, some videos, right? A lot of like videos that we are able to see now on a social media, a lot of images that we are able to see now on social media, right? Everything is been generated by AI, and we are liking it, we are loving it, right? It looks so fascinating, it looks so much impressive that we love something which has been generated by even AI, right? So real world application wise, there are tons of application you will be able to find out in all the domain, not just in a like this text or image generation, in all the domain, whether it's a healthcare, whether it's a supply chain, whether it's a fintech domain, right? Whether it's a fintech domain. Now, one of the real world application, let me show you that part. So here, if you will come to even Euron, right? You will come to Euron, you will be able to find out a resume AI, right? This system just try to like take your resume, right? And then it is going to modify it. It is going to understand your resume, and then eventually it is going to generate a question. It is going to generate some sort of a sample project as well. So this is one of the system. We have something called as Avni. So basically Avni is a conversational system. So you can just upload your JD, or you can try to upload your resume. You can chat with Avni. Avni is not that stable as of now, but yeah, you can chat with Avni, and then Avni is going to ask you a follow-up question, and it is going to help you out in terms of doing your interview preparation. Again, one of the application, conversational AI, right? Now, if I'll talk about jobs, we are trying to bring a tons of job from tons of different. So like a generative AI. So we are trying to bring tons of job on a daily basis. Not tons. When I say tons, it simply means that 45,000 to 50,000, somewhere between that. So every day we are trying to bring that kind of a job across a globe, not just from India, across a globe for a different kind of experience label, contract type and location. Now, so to do that, we have to go to n number of website, and we have to scrap those data, right? From maybe from their career pages, maybe from a different places. Now, how it is possible now? Because of AI, it is possible, right? Because of the generative AI, so we are able to go, we are able to scroll, we are able to crawl the data, we are able to bring the data, we are able to structure the data the way you are looking for. Because when we crawl, it will be like on such a kind of a data. So we are going to synthetically arrange each and everything, and then you are able to see a job on a daily basis over here, right? Daily basis over here. We have Yuri, one of the amazing systems. So where you can go and you can try to maybe like do a Google search. You can even ask for the academic search. So here I can go and I can ask that give me attention is all you need paper. So basically we have given you the academic search. We have given you even a GitHub search. So now you don't have to even go to Google. Just from here itself, you can search any kind of a GitHub. It is going to search it. From a web, you can try to search anything, and that too in a real time, right? That too in a real time. So now everything is possible because of what? Just AI. So yes, there is a lot of real world application. Even when we write a code nowadays, right? When we write a code nowadays, we are taking a help from AI in terms of writing a code. We are able to build a big system in no time, because someone is there, some AI is there, which is helping me out in terms of generating a code, in terms of debugging it, in terms of correcting all those errors, even in terms of brainstorming, right? So it's everywhere. When I say application, it's everywhere. And inside Euron itself, you will be able to see a tons of application. And when we are going through this particular batch, again, you will see a tons of application. So when I say a real world application, right? When I say a real world application, there are so many real world application. You will be able to see a text chatbot assistant. So nowadays, when you connect with any kind of a banking solution, or like ICICI, HDFC, or any other banking system, right? So generally their bot, their voice bot, or their like a text bot is going to give you answer. So maybe when you order something on a Zomato, maybe when you have to like inquire about something. So first layer will be a bot, which will come into a picture, who understands you, who is aware about the information that uh, the bot is aware about basically something that you have ordered, and based on that it is going to help you out. Uber, Ola, right? Everywhere. Jupto, Zomato, Blinkit, everywhere you will be able to see the exact same thing. So it's everywhere, whether it's a voice bot or whether it's a text bot. And yeah, chatbot assistants, summarization and translation. So any language to any language. You can try to pass any kind of a document to a Yuri, and Yuri is going to summarize everything. ChatGPT is going to summarize everything. Cloud is going to summarize everything. Yes. Creative writing. So let's suppose if I have to write some sort of a post, or maybe if I am like a creative writer who have to write some sort of an ad, or maybe storytelling, if I have to do, I even as a techie, right? If I'm going for an interview, if I have to do like if I have to like talk about the story which which is going to talk about my project, I can generate each and everything from a AI. And yes, people are using it. Then obviously a code, a bug detection, auto completion, each and everything is happening just because of what? AI, right? Now, image generation. We all have generated, I believe, a Ghibli image, right? Recently, when ChatGPT, even before that, so we have Delhi, we have Sora. So yeah, we were using this image and videos, all those things. So text to image generation, style transfer and upskilling. So we are using it. Audio, all of like audio we are trying to use, generate video and 3D. So now this is a kind of a things that you will be able to generate, and out of this you can do a tons of things, right? Tons of things means literally a tons of things we are able to automate almost everything. Like we have started rewriting as per this new AI world. So that is a power of generative AI. That is a kind of application that we are looking for. Now, great powers always comes with a great responsibility, right? I believe I'm like able to say this dialogue in a correct way. If not, pardon me. So there is some sort of an ethical consideration as well. So whenever you are working in this field, whenever you are building some sort of a AI solution, you have to keep in a mind that your system must be aligned ethically, right? Your system must be aligned ethically. So a responsible use, obviously, then hallucination and misinformation you should not spread, or your system should not spread. Copyright and IP. I don't know how many people are like, how many companies are following this part nowadays. But yeah, I think we should do it. But again, it's a very, very subjective things. Bias in training data we have to like remove. So these are the ethical consideration, guys. These are the ethical consideration you have to keep, and we are going to even talk about that in our series. I have a particular modal, I have a particular topic for that one. So hope all of you have liked this entire story about the generative AI, what we are going to do, what we are not going to do, each and everything, and from where this entire story has begun. Now I believe we are good to go, and we are good to start with this particular batch, Generative AI Masters. So let's get started. Now, on a regular interval, every Monday, series lecture will be released. And then, yeah, so you can just go ahead with that anytime that you want. Even after a year, you will be having an access of each and everything. Depends upon your subscription and depends upon the plan that you have taken. So with that, guys, thank you so much, and see you in a next lecture. Thank you, everyone.